GM, everybody. It is your co-host, mine and a co-host, Nick, here for the Dollar Trade Show. And we are going to run through the usual program. So we've got a few tweets lined up. I'm gonna cover, see if anybody has any comments, jump in the chat. I've got that open here, or I will in a moment. And let me know, because I'm here on my own. So it's a bit quiet, a bit sad when you're on your own when Diego's away and not here chatting with me. So I'll just put in the chat. GM to that chat. All right, let's kick off. Let me share that screen. Share. Doesn't look as smooth when it's just me doing it. Diego's in there holding court while I'm going. All right, so this looks like Kalshi's first step into on-chain. They've announced a partnership with Pyth Network. So for you that do not know, Pyth Network is an oracle, and it's a price oracle. As far as I'm aware, that's all they do is pricing. So it looks like they are going to be doing their resolutions via Pyth in some way. I don't know. So they do elections, Fed decisions, championships, and more. So when you go onto the Pyth website, so let's just do that, right? Can we go there just now? Let's jump on. Oh, share this tab. Explore the oracle. Probably this one, right? Oh, it opens a new window every single time. Great. Let me share this. So, yeah, unsure to what they're meaning about all those other things, because on here it's the price of everything. Pure market data sourced directly from the best institutions and traders in the world. So unless they are expanding what they're doing and have been expanding things in the background and haven't really like communicated that to the wider community, I'm going to just stick with this is what they're using it for first. But that's great that Pyth Network's doing that, because that opens that up to loads of other prediction markets coming in and using other oracles and other ideas to be able to resolve markets, because market resolution is a big thing. We do want to see it decentralized. Some things are really hard to decentralize. Let me share this screen now. Get my big old face out there. There we go. I haven't figured out how to find a balance to give me a split screen. Oh, maybe this gives me split screen. Oh, that's so much better. There we go. Can I move this around a little bit? I don't know why I'm so far off screen, but I am. There we go. That zoom in works a bit better. So yeah, this is cool, right? So this is what Kalshi's starting. That's good. It's good to show they're essentially hinting at their infrastructure, not what chain they're going to yet. But I presume Pyth works on Base and Solana, and probably Hype as well. But we'll see. Now moving on to more other ecosystems. God, my flow sucks today. So here we go. Let me get rid of this and this. It's really hard to do this live. Just realized how difficult this is to talk. So salute to anybody who does this while while actually talking. So we don't talk about Limitless much. They did a really big raise recently, and they're great. They're a really great prediction market, and I think we will see some excellent stuff from them over the next few years. So $1. This is this is a funny thing. We'll go into it. It goes longer. $1 is great. It's $313, right? So a 313 return without leverage and liquidation risk in under an hour. Just try Limitless, right? So I think we've got this actual tweet here. Oh no, wrong one, right? Only possible on Limitless. I'm going to click in here. It's been a while since I've pulled off such a big X. I don't think I've ever pulled off a big X unless I look very long term. So hats off to you. This really made my evening. By the way, I actually got this right in the previous prediction, but it showed up late in the system, so I could only claim it now. I even thought I lost because I opened the trade in the last 30 seconds. So BTC. God, so he bet $1 and got $300 back. That's awesome. So yeah, again, we keep talking about Polymarket and Kalshi because they've built a noise chamber that really only focuses on them. But Limitless are doing really cool stuff, and people are making good money over there. And just a sort of just a sort of comparable, but inverse market. This person redeemed 6 figures. Absolutely amazing, Ewan. Um, he bet almost $100,000 to win $100,000. So he made a tiny amount, but he still won. It it's very much in the sort of let's kind of it's kind of the inverse of the dollar trade show sort of ethos where we are cheap and we bet like $1 and see how what max percent we can get for our dollar. This dude just went 1% and I'll give you almost $100,000. So I thought that was quite funny. Um, it just goes to show that there are many, many different types of trading strategy out there for everybody to consume. Right, let's move on to this. So I don't know if this will work, but I think this is just a bit of a sound. Oh no, it's a whole podcast. We're not going to do that. So co-founder, I think he is the CEO of Kalshi, covered the whole Kalshi story, which I've not actually listened to this yet, so I'd like to know like where they came from. Um, I'm I'm sure that's interesting to them, but probably not that interesting to us because Polymarket was the main player during there. Kalshi hadn't quite got his feet on the ground. The Sequoia deal, I'd love to hear that. Um, why PMs will eat all markets? I believe that too. It's I'll again. I think we can cover this a bit more at a later date once I've actually listened to the podcast. But I don't see how prediction markets don't eat all sorts of markets like sports markets. It's already ate sports market. What it really needs to do right now is consume the incumbent. So that's sports books and betting companies. And I suspect we'll see a major pushback from them because they are very wealthy organizations and they have a lot of sway in countries. So they'll either push back or get involved, but they'll probably push back and then get involved. Yeah, and then he's going to talk the crypto strategy, the Robinhood partnership. I'd like to hear how he felt about that and like what impact it made on the business. Trad media deals again. Yeah, this is going to be super interesting. So I'm going to watch this. I'd recommend everybody else to watch this too. It's always good to listen to CEOs of companies that are on the run because um, whereas we're building right now and we're trying to like deal with what's there, they have got so much capital and so much resource that they can look like many years down the line. Um, as well, like they can live in the future and the present, whereas most startups are living in the present and hoping that the future exists. Okay, so switch over to this one. So this is a bit more long form, so we're going to read through this together, like a little sort of book reading club. So, Polybaddy Burn Book, a guide to entering prediction markets with confidence, submitted by OX Ginger Girl. We've covered OX Ginger Girl a few times. She does some good stuff. So if you don't know her, check her out. It's there, it is right there. Again, I don't have the cool thing that Diego has to highlight things. The hype is real, but so is the learning curve. That's with a lot of things. We went from a new prediction market super cycle tweets to badges flying everywhere. Yeah, we went. By the way, the super cycle never happened. It's not happening until all the tooling's in place. So I'm glad that narrative has kind of like disappeared. Tweets to badges flying everywhere. Yeah, that was a bit boring. The energy is crazy. Agreed. It's really exciting. And as a certified polybaddy, I don't know who polybaddies are. I need to go check that out. I love seeing more women joining the space, but with new faces comes noise and sometimes unnecessarily bullying. All right, so I didn't realize they were bullying. Guess it depends on your it depends on you what you consider bullying. but I'll be interested to see what she means by that. Crypto Twitter is fucking brutal sometimes and very toxic, as I've seen a few posts last week talking about that. So here are a few rules to set the record straight. Badge wars. All right, so that's Nick Presler's one. He's tracking badge wars and how many chains have how many prediction markets. He has not put Say in there. Say has us, Groovy Market, and they also have what's the other one? God, I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyway, theirs looks quite cool because it's a really cool interface. But anyway, let's keep going. We're all still new here. Most of the loudest voices, including myself, have only been in this space for a few months. Yes, the biggest volumes still traded by TradFi veterans and poker professionals, people who have years of pattern recognition and risk discipline behind them. This is usually the case. I will just stay out there. The noisiest people are usually the least experienced, right? Here's an analogous situation. I find a lot of Bitcoin maxis who haven't been around for a while, they've only been around for a few years, got into it later cycle, are entirely brainwashed by what they read in podcasts because they've not quite got to the level where they have seen enough cycles, enough behavior to internalize that and understand that this is just happening. It's just a thing. So yes, loud voices are usually the most inexperienced, I would say. You don't need a finance degree to have a voice. That's true. When I started, I wasn't trading, I wasn't researching, observing, and learning. Even now, my volume is small. My edge is curiosity, consistency, and not credentials. If you made only a few trades or none at all and want to talk about what you're learning, you absolutely can. I think that's fine. Yeah. Like I think it's good to say it doesn't matter what experience level you're at to be able to talk about what you're doing because once you stick it out there, somebody might come back with something very interesting and explain and like change the way you view things. So I think open conversation from all levels of experience is really important for learning. I don't know what the thing about the finance degree is, because most of the people in crypto who are trading don't come from finance, or most of the people historically, right? Like if we look at it on a curve, most of the people historically didn't come from finance. The finance guys are coming in now heavier, right? And also trading in general, it's only been in the past couple of decades where it is all degree led. You used to be able to go get a job at a bank, at a firm, and end up trading that way through mentorship, which is frankly the best way to learn ever. Polybaddies build, not gatekeep. Excellent. Our mission is to bring more women into the space. That means ask questions without shame, share what you learn, even if it's small, teach if you can, listen if you can't. Yeah, be nice. I think they just should be general rules for all community engagement. Although, again, Twitter does not do that. We found something cool early. Instead of policing who gets to talk, we grow together. This is really good sentiment. What I've noticed, because I'm an old git, is it's hard to keep that alive as it gets older and older, right? Because as you gain more power, more people want to access your power, then you become more protective of your power, blah, blah, blah. General systems. Trading skill does not equal community value. Some people who will be great traders, some will be great storytellers, some will bring culture, memes, content, or vibes. The ecosystem needs all of it. If you bring people in, you matter. That's I think that's true. Yeah, I think that's true. I'm just trying to think of cases for anybody that doesn't know me. I always try to think of the inverse to argue against to see if that's true. But yeah, I think it does. Again, like provided you're not a dick. Yeah, I'm going to sit with this one for a while because I actually think there's a lot of KOLs that don't do that and they bring people in. But yeah, anyway. The unofficial baddie oath. Oh God, I've got to take an oath. What is this? A hazing? Are you in the US? Are we doing that? I will trade or learn at my own pace. Fair enough. Um, I will not shame others for doing the same. I will. Shame is appearing quite a lot here. I tend to see when people use words a lot that the insight that it gives me on the person. I will not understand, or their experiences, not the person, the experiences that they've had. I will understand that we are early and that being early means building, not gatekeeping. Ah, fantastic. So this is what I was getting at earlier. When you're early, you open up wide because you want to catch as many people as possible. The gatekeeping will start, I guarantee, when these communities start to get big and more formed, less people, like somebody said on Twitter the other day. I remember the times when I used to be able to DM a CEO and get a response. So right now, you could probably DM these guys and get a response. Will that be the case in a year, 2 years' time? Let's see. I will remember that bringing new people in is just as valuable as winning a trade. I will keep the vibes high and the odds honest. I think, yeah, no. If you're feeling like it's like everything's getting nuked, you can't keep the vibe high. Let's just keep everything honest. Let's just keep it honest. Don't dictate how people should feel or what they should do. I'm a woman. I am always right. All right, okay. And I'm a baddie. That's who I am. All right, cool. Um, like this little picture. It's fun. So yeah, this is cool. So aimed, I think, exclusively at women. Let's see what happens when I click here. Yeah, community. I can't read that font. Who are you kidding? Let me check this. I literally have to put this in the search engine to be able to read that. I can't. Community page or something that says. I don't know. I can't read that. A human can't read that. So yeah, this is cool little community. Check it out. We're not following them right now. They've got more followers than us. That's because they have one of these badges, though. Badges equal follows. I know that's the strategy, guys. All right, let's move on. Let's get more away from tooling and community vibes into actual market activity. So Pix on Chain is doing something really interesting. He's updating his poly market challenge as things go. So far, he's won 27 markets and he's only lost 4. That's excellent. Before I share what's new, let's quickly go over the 4 losses. Monad airdrop by October. You 100% saw this one on your timeline last week. I got in early around 70 cents at that. I think it's interesting he thinks early 70 cents. I always feel like it's late. That's just probably my point of view. It's because I'm trading on the dollar and I need the percentage to be very high to get another dollar back. At the time, all public info pointed to yes. Oh, but a couple of weeks later, some wallets started hammering the no. All right, so this here, we've been through this at Groovy. We had multiple false launches because we were told by the team that it was, or I was told, and Diego were told that we were going to launch, and we had it, and it was almost there, and we can start talking about it. And then, like a week and a half into talking about it, you start to test it, and you're like, "Holy shit! Parts of this doesn't work. We can't go live." And then you're a couple of months trying to find people to do the job properly. Anyway, it's good to see that somebody the size of Monad and with the amount of money they've got also experience these issues. But a couple of weeks later, some wallets started hammering no side. All right, price tanked, and I went from up 15% to minus 18 like 2 days. Oh, I feel you, man. I did the usual deep dive. Wallets, TXT timelines still have tabs open. Once those wallets cash out, I'll know where it came from. All right, interesting. That's a really interesting insight into not only. So what it looks like he's doing, and this is actually the right way, is not so much look at what it was that made you win, right? But like, what is it it makes you fail, and tackling the things that make you fail. So yeah, I'm interested to see where he goes with that. After seeing how those markets reacted to a few monad tweets, yeah, okay, right. So w- eventually, I used one to exit, cut the losses, -80 to -14 less. Okay, so I think what he's implying here is he would like to understand if there was some sort of leaky ship or insider trading, right? I think that's what he's getting at. Okay. Listen, this one's tough. Insiders enter after me, so not something I could have predicted. Yeah, well, you can always understand that this is going to happen because we're starting to see it more and more. It's starting to become more obvious, and that's great because insider trading has always happened and always will happen. Um, but with prediction markets, it's a lot easier to see what's happening and who may have did it or what wallets did it anyway. But there is one thing I should have done differently: double down on the dip to decrease average and exit and profit on the pump. Another good reminder: don't go all in on anything you think is certain. If there are too many things other people can control, exactly. It happened recently to Miles' fasting market. Right, yeah, yeah, I agree with that. Like you think it's certain, but that doesn't mean you need to bet the house on it. Just bet what you can afford to lose, and from that point, you can take that profit and sink it into other markets later on. Costco EPS was testing the new earnings strategy here. Funny enough, if I held it, I would have won. Loss was small and mostly covered by the FedEx EPS market win, a tiny learning fee. Fair enough. I'll be back to these soon. Hyperliquid daily fees above 8 million. After the liquidation flush, news headlines were throwing out numbers 2 to 3x this. I hammered yes. But the market rule were vague and opened up resolution risk, which started to form already. See, excuse me, there's not enough time and money being spent on by the big players to sort this out. Maybe Kalshi will bring something to it with their deal with Pyth, but I feel like in the race, and this happens every time, like loads of cycles, everything, pretty much every bit of technology ever built, you can see it in AI and everything. In the race to get live and get users and become relevant, you skip things. Oh, you can also see in Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin has huge privacy issues, um, but it works, right? So yeah, it's we need to. I would like to see maybe even like a cross company think tank. Dare I say that word? That kind of or some sort of research company formed by all that where all the big prediction markets put money into, and it's just a research team who go figure out how you do resolutions and stuff like that really well. Um, so I cut quickly from a tiny 1% loss. It later dipped to -30, so it was a good call. Recovered to -10 at the moment. All right, yep. I still think it resolves, yes, but the risk reward didn't justify staying in. I agree with that one. 4, nothing ever happens. Diego talks about this. Sol, Ether, BTC hit all times high in November. This one was more fun. Small size, good thesis at first, but I cut when I got invalidated. I know that feeling because I was doing the crypto market stuff. Funnily enough, I would have won, but again, not the point. Lesson here: set a stop loss, sell order way earlier. Yep, and for most people that don't know sell orders, if you're using Polymarket, you need to buy a certain amount of shares. I can't remember how many it is. So if you do dollar trades like I do, you can always set a stop loss. You just need to have infinite loss. Where are we? We'll post current position / new plays soon, but you can always search picks on chain on Polymarket to see everything live. Should I do a breakdown of the winnings ones next? Nah. I think there's less to learn from the winning part of thing and more to learn from things that gone wrong. I learned lots of stuff by reading it. So yeah, check out Picks on Chain. Like, and he's not like, look, he's not like going after like loads and loads of money. So it's a very accessible post and direction. I can't believe I didn't like it or retweet it. There we go. What's next up? Okay, we're talking about Limitless because we want to give them more coverage because they're doing good stuff. Limitless is safer and easier platform for intraday traders. Pure focus on price action. That's how trading should feel. Let's look at their chat GPT. I'm tired of getting wrecked on perps. Trading is too complicated and I get liquidated by scam wicks despite having the right ideas. What should I do? Short-term prediction markets fix this. Pivot to Limitless. No liquidation, fixed risk and unknown payout, zero funding rates and hidden fees. How do they do it? I'm interested how they do that on a blockchain. Maybe they just pay everything. Simple UX, just predict direction. I do need to play with Limitless a bit more. I've not done it. But they've definitely been around since the OGs. They just haven't done that strange parabolic move or that the other two have. All right, let's pivot over to crypto-y things. So this is somebody from we've covered this guy a couple of Root to Fi. Wow, he's got huge amounts of followers, trading on news and the latest narratives. I wonder how long he's been doing that. Yeah. So he thinks it's a good time to buy altcoins right now because they've had the utter shit knocked out them and you're less likely to lose money. Crypto Quantum thinks wrong. The market proved most altcoins have no bids when market makers' liquidity is pulled. They literally go to zero and are worthless. The only coins that have a value prop will outperform, aka be a good buy post crash, are those with revenue and utility. I can't say that word today. Commiserate, there we go, with valuation. To me, this is hype. Aave, BNB for now. All right, let's go through his comments, see what other people say. So revenue and utility, yes. Like I think, yeah. I mean, like if it's underpriced and it has revenue and utility, this sort of, if anybody's read into the sort of Warren Buffett way of investing, by the way, none of this is financial advice or barely any advice. It's just ramblings of a man. He tends to look for companies that have really strong teams, are going through a hard time, and the stock is massively underpriced, right? So if you think of the token price like a stock, do they have revenue? Do they have utility? Do they have users? Like, do they have builders and users? Right, would be other metrics. And do we think the price is cheap based on what may happen next? So he thinks original trail, CRV, Aave, Rollbit, just random selection. So he thinks they're all overvalued. Aave dumped like other shit coins though. It's illiquid. It recovered well. That's it. It's about the recovery, right? Because Bitcoin gets smashed and it recovered really strongly. I think it smashed again today or last night, whenever it was. This is why we're aiming for revenue plus utility first as the main priority. This is some sort of founder of precog market, next gen prediction markets. I mean, we're still in current generation prediction markets. So let's wait for the next gen ones to come. So yeah, interesting take. And let's move over to somebody that we have invited on the show, but has been unable to make it recently. Dynamite, he's done lots of really good content. Some I agree with, some I don't, but that's fine. It's good to have differing opinions out there. I think he wrote this off the back of his last post when he was talking about, was it Hayek? No, it wasn't Hayek. It was somebody else. And they were just like, hey, what about Kelly's strategy? He goes, yeah, I'll do a post on that. So what's the Kelly strategy and how can it actually help you trade smarter on Polymarket? This is good, like looking into fundamentals from the past. So I'm going to say something, nothing that is happening here currently in DeFi, crypto, or any other market hasn't happened before. In traditional markets, it's just a different tech layer. Um, I recommend anybody who's really into this stuff to go read Musings of a Stock Operator, super cheap book, and you will, because it's like AirPress, it's like 100 years old. Go check that one out and tell me how we're not just seeing the exact same stuff that was happening back then with cotton and other things with tokens. All right, back to Dynamite. A lot of pro traders use it mentioned in their posts, but I feel like many beginners don't really get what it means. So let's break it down real quick. The Kelly criterion is a bet sizing strategy created by John Kelly back in 1956. It's all about risk management, basically helping you figure out what percentage of your bankroll to throw into a trade based on the odds and your estimated probability of winning. So, this is sizing, I believe, if we were to use the terminology right. What size should you be going in at versus risk reward? One moment, just need to get a cough. Okay, now let's talk about his formula. It's on the image. I'm fucking definitely not getting into formulas here, right? The letter B always confuses people. When we talk about coefficient 3, that means you bet $5 and get 15 back if you're right. But that doesn't, this is my bit, that doesn't take into consideration your principal. But in Kelly, we use net odds. I like this one. This is more palatable for me, not total payout. So if you bet $5 and win $10 profit, your net odds are 2, not 3. This is good, I think. Let's take a real market example. Say that the market gives Trump a 40% chance to win the election, but you think the true odds are 50%. You can check the math on the image. According to Kelly's formula, you should bet 16.7% of your bank. Interesting. There are also variations like half Kelly or quarter Kelly, just like which I just really like those phrases. I know people who are called Kellys. I call them a half Kelly and a quarter Kelly. Which just means dividing your results by 2 or 4 to play it safer. All right. I recommend to use this to improve your risk management. What would have been really cool here is if he sorted out a spreadsheet with the formula in it and people could just try their stuff out. But yeah, when traders start sizing bets like pricing the truth, you know the market's evolving. Yeah, so it is. It's sizing. This is really cool. I'm gonna have a look into this a bit more, and try understand it and see and use it to maybe create more than $1 bet on Polymarket. Oh, this is not one I want to share. Oh, and that is, see, when there's only one of us, I just get run into it. That is the last one for today, guys. So thank you very much for tuning in. I've not been very good at checking to see if our Rumble friends were here, but I hope they were. And just to flick through the little call to action, if you know Groovy Market already and you follow us or you're on the newsletter or whatever, head over to Playground at groovy.market, and it is a creator powered prediction market. So you as a creator can create any market you want, literally any market you want, and you will get paid 1% of that market at the end. So you get paid to create markets. So if you're really clever and you're very good at coming up with hot takes or ideas around prices or football or whatever it is, this is the place for you. And we're doing another Clash of the Fans on, I think it's Sundays, and I'm just waiting to see if we're going to change the time a bit, where we just get super fans together to have a natter about two teams that they like a lot and then get them to create prediction markets around specific things that will happen in those games. If you don't follow us already and you stumbled across here, follow us at groovy.market for the Dollar Trade Show. And we have a newsletter. Things are going to be changing over there over the next couple of weeks. But follow the onetrade.substack.com. We're probably going to sort that one out to make it a bit easier to read. And yeah, and just stay in touch. We will be back tomorrow, which is Wednesday, because I literally don't know what day of the week is at any time. and we'll be covering this. Hopefully, Diego will be back, but he's been really, really sick. So I'm just gonna like keep running the ship until till then. I've been trying to get guests on. If you're out there listening and you want to just come on and help me anchor, that'd be great. We can just run through things. But I will see you guys tomorrow.